Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to look at the timer at the same time. I'm here. I'm very happy to be here in front of you guys to introduce like a new project, actually a project that I created 3 years ago. So my name's Fred, Lizee. I'm French. I'm from Nantes, a city 2 hours away from Paris on the west. I'm probably the only French person in the room. And so yeah, that's something I launched about 3 years ago. It's something maybe a little bit different from what you've learned or you discovered since yesterday. I think it's more related to education. But just a couple of words about my experience. So I'm absolutely passionate about travel. I'm more into immersive and adventure travel. Originally into travel product development. And I moved to education and marketing and different stuff. So I've been in the travel industry for about 15 years. I've worked for tech startups, tour companies, DMCs in Europe, in Asia, 5 years, based out of Thailand, but traveling around in Asia, leading community-based tourism projects and everything. Plus also 3 great experiences with Australian company based in Melbourne and Sydney. For educational travel, so you're going to see the link. That was about 10 years ago, but now I see a link also with this experience around educational travel, sustainable travel, and a company some of you guys might know about, Intrepid, international company that is quite pioneer in terms of responsible and adventure travel. So I've been inspired by all these companies, and basically after COVID, since 2020, I decided to set up my solo consulting activity. I had worked more than 10 years for a travel company, again, diversified jobs, product marketing, sales, sourcing. With one company I've been able, and that's something I'm quite proud about, I've been able to develop a global network of DMCs. So I've got DMC friends from many countries in the world and continents. So something, I'm quite proud about. And today it's more related to education, because in 2020, again, I lost a consulting project with the third Australian company. I had a couple of months to think about what I want to do next. So it all started with masterclasses, to share my experience and vision of travel with the new generation. So I'm going to talk about new generation. I think since yesterday we're all discussing about the future of travel. So maybe we may ask who is the main community related to the future of travel. We might talk about travelers, we might talk about local communities, but I decided to focus on the new generation, the youth generation and tourism students. So now it's been developed for 3 years on the French market. Now it's a little bit reputable, and I've got a strong network of universities and private schools in France, about 30 schools, campus in total. And I've also been able to grow the community of travel partners, mentors or sponsors. It depends on the project. So this idea that came 3 years ago is called the New Generation, the New Export Challenge. And I rebranded this summer, and I'm calling it now the new generation of responsible and immersive travel creators and explorers. And you're going to understand why. So, So I talked about my experience and the why behind the New Explorer Challenge. You've got a couple of reasons on that slide. So again, I had a lot of inspiration from past companies. And then I had this opportunity to work with tourism schools, again, from master classes to this national contest. So it's a travel production competition, which is now, again, after the 3rd year, gathering about 30 private schools and universities in France. And I'm actually challenging more than 1,000 students every single year. It's something that's happening for a period of 4 months, every year from November to March. And again, behind this idea, it was all about sharing my vision, my passion. We talked about GSTC in November 2020, to increase my understanding of sustainable travel. I also decided to get the training, and I was certified by GSTC in November 2020, and related also mixed up with my experience. I put together this national contest for students. And I talked about product, DMC background, but also a little bit of marketing, because I'm a little bit into content creation as well, photos, videos on Instagram and LinkedIn, especially on the French markets. It's also a way to obviously share storytellings, convince new schools also to participate, to give some inspiration from students to other students as well. So yeah, all about raising awareness, placing responsible travel at the heart of the tourism economy, obviously giving the voice to students to build a more sustainable tourism for the future. And at the same time, I realized that after the first year, when I gathered more than 700 students, some major travel companies on the French market, they realized that was something quite interesting, and that most of these brands had a struggle in reaching the new generation. So it all started with a small idea, an idea first, and then it came to a national contest connecting the new generation, like the students in tourism, with the experts, the sustainable experts that have years of experience. So it's on the way. It's been 3 years. I've hosted 3 editions, and now, 1st of November, I'm starting in France, of course. For now, it's in France. The 4th edition, what we call the NEC New Explorer Challenge 2024. So if you still didn't get it, it's a national production competition for students. Every year I've got, again, now more than 1,000 students. It starts with regional events and challenges in schools in different cities, in more than 20 locations in France, one in Geneva as well, in Switzerland. And we've got a long process with the GSTC certification. When I started this project, I did create myself specifications. So obviously the schools are given specifications, but also an analysis, like a selection grid, based on 21 points related to sustainable travel. And at the moment, I'm the only one hosting, animating this project. But of course, I had some support. First, in terms of specifications, I needed the buy-in from the schools. And also, I got some support from sustainable tourism experts, some friends in Asia and different locations. So again, after the first year, let's say, NEC 21, we call it in France that way, NEC 21, NEC 21. Again, the main adventure travel company, Terre d'Aventure, it's like maybe Intrepid in France. They call me and they say, oh, it's an amazing concept, talking to the new generation, raising awareness and challenging them. So we are happy to be a mentor, or at least to sponsor. So that's how it went. And now, again, after 3 editions, I've got a couple of teams, projects that are rewarded on a yearly basis. I've been able to take some students on the ground. I'm going to show you the different trips that we've made, and I have a short video at the end of one of the last trips in the Balkans last June. So again, 2 of the main reasons why I decided to come here. First, I was accepted to present this project, the New Explorer Challenge, potentially see if, because it's happening and working well in France, maybe there could have some opportunities or interest in replicating this project in other countries. My first idea is to start with French-speaking countries and markets. And the second main reason was obviously to make international connections and to get myself inspired with all your stories that we've listened to since yesterday. And for that's an amazing project, an amazing conference and event. So in terms of values, again, all related to sustainable travel, some of the GSTC criteria, but the top ones and values that are behind the New Explorer Challenge, it's all about slow tourism. So each year we go to some sometimes long-haul destinations, but in the near future we're going to try to go more and closer what we used to call with Intrepid, for example, closer to home adventures in France or close to Europe. And again, the last one was in the Balkans in June. So slow tourism, eco-responsibility, we've listened to an amazing story in Turkey. So eco-responsibility is all about, again, challenging students, but having them, no, that's mine. Sorry for that.
You gave yourself your own hook.
So I'm gonna try to go quickly. And it's all about asking them to look at eco-friendly hotels, like again the one in Istanbul, with strong commitment in terms of natural protection, environment, but also the social aspect, getting the local communities involved. So also using low carbon type of transportation. Okay, so at some point, if we go to Colombia, for example, like we did 2 years ago, we need to use the air transportation, of course, but locally, it has to be slow, low carbon type of activities, soft adventure, getting immersed in the local culture. So again, with all the values around, it's all about solidarity, contribution, and transmission. So some of the brands that are now following me on this challenge since 2020, some of the most famous ones in the adventure and responsible tourism field, Double Sens, that is a new one, but more into community-based tourism. And the evolution, should be on the final slide. Why it's not showing? That's the one. The evolution of the global process. So I'm moving from an annual challenge where I've got 1 or 2 sponsors to a mentoring program. So I've got, again, 25, 30 schools in France and about 10 main events. So from November to March, I'm hosting all around France 10 major events. Some schools call them like business games or challenges. And the idea now is to go to every single university and school with a mentor, like a travel company. And at the end of the day, it's a long process, but then the teams are rewarded, like the best team for every university or school. And if there is a grant, we can take the teams on the ground. But at least now the idea is to sell the trips via the business partners. So you've got loads of information on that slide with the whole process, with the participation conditions. 95% of the participation is what we call compulsory events in the schools. So something I'm also quite happy with is that now it's something that they have factored in, like implemented in their academic program for the year. Something that came from just an idea 3 years ago. Quickly, so 2 years ago, I took the very first couple duo, let's say maybe in English, Andrea and Joaquin in Colombia with an amazing sustainable trip for 2 weeks, basically, meeting with local associations, NGOs. The main focus of the trip was actually to highlight the local intangible cultural heritage with the local musics, meeting again with communities that suffered from many years, again, of suffering, difficult years in Colombia. The second year, I took 2 students again in Central Africa and Gabon. And the main topic, the main focus was actually what we call, I'm trying to translate, but a main issue that is man versus wildlife conflict in Gabon. With elephants destroying the plantations from the remote local villages, many other, of course, issues, and again, slow immersion for 2 weeks. And then this year, Balkans, quick video at the end. And next week, on the 18th, I'm taking the final group to Nepal, again for a 2-week immersion. And again, if the video works, it's the 1-minute trailer. Yeah. Sorry, it's in French. Next time I'm gonna translate. But it's all about highlighting the destinations as well.
Hello, c'est Fred Lizee, le créateur et l'animateur du New Explorer Challenge, le NEC, concours de tourisme responsable pour la nouvelle génération. Et on est en direct des Balkans, en repérage avec Gaëlle et Marine, donc du projet Ruggerata.
Moi c'est Gaëlle, j'ai 24 ans, je viens de Besançon en Franche-Comté mais j'habite à Paris.
Et moi c'est Marine,
1-minute trailer I was able to present last week at the main French travel fair, the 10-minute video. Again, it's all about highlighting remote destinations. So it was east of Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia. Again, viewed and experienced with the vision of the new generation. And again, after like a 5-month competition that they won, these two ladies won the Europe grant. So yeah, and obviously that's in French. I don't know if some of you can pick a bit of French, but they talked about their low carbon trip. They went from Paris all the way by train via Zurich up to Zagreb and then Bosnia, Serbia and Bosnia. Experiencing again low carbon activities, meeting with local people, with the main focus theme that was what we call memory tourism. Understanding the local issues post wars that happened in the 90s. So let's get in touch. Thank you very much, and welcome if you have any questions.
Why don't we just jump right into Nuri, just so we have a little bit of time for Q&A.